You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to talk about what is, to me, some pretty stunning casting news. So you already know that Arianne Zucker is out at Days of Our Lives as Nicole Walker, and that is part of what makes this casting update about Holly Jonas so stunning. We're going to unpack that along with some other huge info about who's in and who is out at Days of Our Lives in the next few months of 2024. Before we dig in, though, please click subscribe if you haven't yet. We really appreciate it. All right. Diving right in, a big chunk of this news comes directly from a cast member, Ashley Puzemis, who plays Holly Jonas. But before I show you this little video she made and what it reveals, I want to just mention 3 big exits we have coming this week and next. And no, one of them is not Clyde Weston and his skeevy toddler gal pal Goldman. I'm pretty certain those two are still skulking around Salem ready to do bad deeds. But this week, we say goodbye to Lani Price and Eli Grant. They are moving to Washington, D.C. for his job, and they are feeling pretty good about going because Paulina Price got her miraculous ticker cure. So say goodbye to them this week by Friday, March 15th. Next week, we're going to say goodbye to Stefan DiMera. He is going to try and cut a deal with the cops to address the dirty deeds that he did for Clyde. EJ was trying to get him to leave town and leave all his assets and voting shares behind, but Stefan's not going to go. And I wonder if he's going to try and take EJ down with him for aiding, abetting, obstruction of justice, other stuff. That would be really funny to me to see because EJ has been such a turd knocker. I don't know if Stefan's going to get a little time in Statesville or what, but he's definitely not gone for good. He and his Brandon Barash and his wife Isabella Barash had their first child together, little Joaquin Barash. He was born on September 15th, and that is when he left for a couple of months of paternity leave. But bear in mind, they film 6 months out. So at the point that he leaves next week, start counting, we should have about 8 weeks of no Stefan. So that'll put him back around May sweeps. And I suspect that's at the point we're also going to get to meet recast Gabi Hernandez. I mean, maybe he asked to go to Statesville so he can be with her while paying for his crimes, you know, whatever deal he negotiates. So he's out the end of next week by Friday, March 22nd, I believe. And so we also know Steve Burton wrapped filming around the same time as Ari Zucker, end of 2023. That means both of them should be wrapping their runs by the end of May sweeps, maybe early June. But what's interesting about the upcoming exit of Nicole Walker is not that she's going, but who is not going with her. And that gives me all kinds of suspicions about how they are going to exit her character and whether it will be permanent. I expected Holly would leave with her mother. That's, you know, under the assumption that her mother leaves town and something doesn't happen to her in town. But now that I know from Ashley Puzemis' video that Holly is not leaving with her mom, it's kind of a game changer. Ashley recently posted a video behind the scenes making it clear she's still working on the NBC soap opera 3.5 months after Ari Zucker was axed and filed suit against the soap, Ken Corday, Albert Alar, Sony, and other individuals. We're going to talk in a couple of minutes about how this Holly and Nicole thing changes all the presumptions of how her character will exit. But the other thing I want to call your attention to are all the other actors that the little Holly actress shows in their dressing rooms. That means all these people are still on contract, still filming, which means we are still going to be seeing them 6 months from now, which takes us all the way into fall. I'm going to show you her video, and then afterward, we're going to talk about each person in order of appearance and then talk about what all of it means. Here is that video.
Let's go say hi to Paul and Lindsay. Rebecca, Carson, Abigail, Day's favorite heartthrob. Hey, Dave. What's going on?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
I feel like I'm being, rated right now.
Sorry.
Am I supposed to be looking in the...
Yeah, I think the camera look great at...
right in the frame?
Pineapple and pizza, yes or no?
No.
Why?
No, who does that?
Holly likes pineapple.
Pepperoni only.
Okay.
Stephanie likes pineapple on pizza, but I strongly disagree.
What is your coffee order normally?
Black coffee.
Black coffee.
Black
That's the way
coffee,
to go.
hot.
Nice.
Hot.
Coffee all day. Biggest coffee guy. Coffee's the closest.
Do you know what girl math is?
Girl math?
Girl math.
No.
Like girl math.
No. That's...
Okay.
Can you tell me?
I paid $9 for a latte, but I paid it in cash, so it doesn't count. Okay. I heard that you kidnapped Holly when she was
Look, I'll tell you this. Right? The one thing that's been consistent through all of my kidnappings is that my victims always become my friends later.
Yeah.
One of them even
besties.
One of them even married me. So it's
Yep. You guys learned something riveting from me.
We did.
Okay.
All right, the first two people she mentioned were Paul and Lindsay. So that's Paul Telfer and Lindsay Godfrey, who plays Xander, Cook, and Sarah Horton. And then she mentioned Carson, who of course is Carson Boatman, who plays Johnny DiMera. And by the way, we know that Raven Bowens is still filming as Chanel, and she's still with Johnny based on a TikTok video from her recently. Next, Ashley mentioned Abigail Klein, who plays Stephanie Johnson, and she also showed Elia Cantu, who plays Jada Hunter, Rob Wilson, who plays Alex Kiriakis, and Billy Flynn, who plays Chad DiMera. She also asked them some really cute questions. I'm sure you saw. What stood out most to me was her funny comment to Xander, to Paul Telfer, about him kidnapping Holly as a child. And he said all his kidnapping victims wind up his friends, and one even married him. That would be Nicole. Speaking of Nicole, she didn't do it willingly, but he did keep her in a cage. And I mean, who's going to say no to Paul Telfer putting you in a cage? Am I right? All right, so here's why it's bizarre that Holly is in Salem, but Nicole is not around. Nicole is getting her baby back soon, according to showrunner Ken Corday. We're still waiting on that to happen. He said it was definitely happening. And I can't imagine that Eric Brady would let Nicole leave town with his son. At the same time, I can't imagine her leaving without her daughter, Holly. Holly has some family in town, Maggie, since that's a grandmother, but her dad's dead. So, with one kid still in Salem, I assume that means that her son also remains in Salem. And I assume this means something bad happens to Nicole. But that's a topic for another video where I have time to explore it thoroughly. I'm not going to cram it in right now. All right, so let me know, what do you think? Are you shocked to find out that Nicole Walker is gone, but that her baby girl stays in Salem? Are you excited to see that Sarah and Xander are still around, and also Alex, Stephanie, and Jada? Let me know what you think. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Definitely drop your comments and come back soon. As always, it's Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.